Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks video. Now, there's so many different shotguns, it is kind of hard with the drop rate to find the exact one that you want every single game right now. So I think the key to being good at this game, one of the major keys right now, is understanding each of these different shotguns, knowing how to maximize and do the most amount of damage with whichever it is the shotgun that you pick up, whether it's a pump, whether it's a combat, or whether it's even a flintlock, which is technically a pistol, but basically plays sort of like a shotgun, and that's what we're going to talk about as well in this game. So we're going to talk about the drum shotgun, the pump shotgun, the TAC shotgun, the combat, the flintlock pistol, a lot of stuff to cover in this video that I think will help you guys get better at the game and do more damage with those shotguns, understanding their strengths, their weaknesses, and what sort of engagements you want to find with each sort of combo of weapons when it comes to shotguns. Now, if you guys could drop a like on this video, that would be much appreciated. Let's go for 520 likes. Now, I know I haven't been uploading as much recently, was dealing with some stuff, but now I have currently stopped streaming on Facebook as far as the Fortnite streams, so I'm more focused going back into the YouTube channels on the Fortnite channel, and also an announcement over on my Call of Duty channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. And basically, if you guys could drop a like support, I really do appreciate that. More content coming and more content consistently over the summer. I'm very excited now. Of course, as of right now, we're at a point where, I mean, the game, I'm actually loving the game right now, but it's sort of, as far as content, season 10, I'm excited to really dive in depth with that. But we still have a little, like, couple weeks until then, so a lot of stuff I'm going to be covering on the channel. So look up for those videos, drop a like, subscribe. I just want to say that I really do appreciate y'all's support, and it does mean the world to me. So let's get right into it and talk about it. Now, the gameplay here that you're watching in the background, you will see me use a variety of different shotguns, but mainly I chose this gameplay because, well, it was a 14 kill solo win, which is pretty respectable high kill solo win, right? And then also that you see me use the pump right there, but the majority of this video, I'm using the drum shotgun, or not the drum shotgun, excuse me, the flintlock into the combat shotgun, which is a really deadly combo. Now, it's not often you carry two, technically the flintlock is not a shotgun, but I'm just gonna call it a shotgun for this video because we're talking about shotguns and that's how I'm using it. So technically it's not, but carrying two is sort of a weird inventory, but you'll see in this gameplay how I'm able to use it. So right there, the flintlock, one thing about using it is you sort of have to watch out because you can get sent back flying and you have to catch yourself with your builds like I was able to do there. So that's what this gameplay is. That's what you'll see me using a lot of in this specific gameplay, but we will talk about everything and cover most of it. So the first one, the combat shotgun. That is the one you'll see. By the way, this was a really nice kill where I was able to use that, come through with the combat shotgun. Now, the combat shotgun is available in blue, purple, and gold, and this is the shotgun that you're honestly going to see most of the time, and for the most amount of players, this is probably going to be your best option. Now, the reason why I think that, everyone knows what their best inventory is, but in Fortnite, it's RNG. I want the gold scar every game, but some games I'm in the top 2 with literally a gray AR. That's just unfortunate, but it will happen. And that's why I think even if the gold combat that's personally my favorite shotgun to carry, and I think for a lot of people it is as well. And by the way, there is a perfect use in this video, as you can see, of me using this combo. I did it a bit earlier, I did it again here, using the flintlock to shoot them, knock them back, and then switch over to a shotgun that excels at long range with the combat and do damage like that is a crazy deadly combo that I think a lot of people don't use this because they think that you have to be like a pro to use it, which is sort of what I thought as well, but it really isn't that hard to use, and it honestly can be a deadly combo. Plus, you can use the flintlock to catch yourself and not take fall damage. But combat shotgun is the first one we're going to talk about. Now, this is blue, purple, and gold, and the combat shotgun is probably the most overall best shotgun in the game. Most of the time, if you tune into someone's gameplay or their live stream, they're going to be having that shotgun. Now, the reason why is because its fire rate is pretty damn effective. Its headshot multiplier is 1.75. Its range is really good, and everything about it is just overall strong. Now, where does the combat shotgun lose out on? I think up close, and especially up close, if you're missing those shots, if you're not hitting it cleanly, you can really have some big errors with that combat shotgun. It can feel sort of inconsistent with the damage. So one thing I would recommend with that gun is sort of take your time, I guess you could say, on your shots, but don't take too much time. You want to make sure you are hitting them, but it is still important to hit that headshot. 1.75 multiplier, what isn't the 2 that we're used to traditionally. The combat shotgun is absolutely amazing, and that's probably the one you're going to want to use most of the time, whether it's blue, whether it's purple, whether it's gold. The key for this one is spam that trigger, aim for the head, and be able to get those shots in before your enemy can. Now, when you're in a gunfight, most fights with shotguns will be combat on combat, so you'll be shooting at each other. The key is to move around while trying to aim at their head. So shoot, jump, shoot, stuff like that is very, very key, because it's not just about hitting your shot. It's about how cleanly can you hit that shot. So that is the combat shotgun. Next one we'll talk about, which sort of the most comparable to the combat shotgun, I guess you could say, would be the pump shotgun, which of course, as I'm making this video, it's towards the end of season 9. Anything can happen in season 10. Who knows what will be vaulted, what will be changed. But the pump shotgun is really, really awesome. And the pump shotgun everyone knows about because it's been in Fortnite for so damn long. And of course, it was brought back. Now, it's only in green and blue. The cool thing is that you can literally get a one shot from 200 health, because this is a 200 times multiplier. It does 100 damage with the blue shotgun. You can 200 someone in the head. This pump shotgun is more for if you are confident with your shot, or if you have a position where you might be low health, players are rushing you, you need to get that big damage off on one shot to even out the fight. That's where the pump shotgun comes down to it. Now, with this shotgun, you need to aim for the head. You need to take extreme amount of time and carefulness with your shots on this one, because it's not like the combat where you just get a second attempt right after. The pump shotgun is one that you need to be good at using it, and my tip for the combat shotgun is you can use it with many different combos because it's self-sufficient. You can spam it by itself. The pump combat, or the pump shotgun, is not like that. When you use the pump shotgun, if you are carrying this weapon, I 100% recommend having some sort of secondary weapon with it. You know, like I say with the combat, you don't need something. If you have a flintlock, you do, because it's a 3-second reload per shot. If you have the pump, it's not a 3-second reload, but the cockback time, if most players who are rushing you have a combat, which is what they will have traditionally, you need to be confident with the pump. And if you are using the pump, the best tactic to do the most amount of damage is shoot the pump and then build. Shoot the pump and then build. Take your time with the shots and don't sort of all in on the fights. It's a more probably the hardest one to use and the most skill gap of a weapon, where if you don't know what you're doing with the pump, you will get smacked. But if you do know what you're doing, you can crack them for 150, build, and then push them with your secondary or spray gun. Can be super duper effective. But with the pump shotgun, I will say that combat, you know, you might see me just go with the combat by itself. If I use the pump, I will usually, sometimes if it might be just the scar on a pump or a blue AR on a pump, but majority of the time I will have that blue pump combined with something like an SMG or a drum gun. Next is going to be, we'll talk about the more close range weapons, because those are the two that really come down to it when you're going into the mid to late game. It's pretty much either pump or combat. Now, there are TAC, the flintlock, and the drum shotgun as well, and these three are made more for up close, I would say. Now, the first thing is with the flintlock. The flintlock is a more utility-based one where it does take up a slot in your inventory, so it isn't always ideal to carry, but it can be great for either shooting someone and knocking them away and then switching into the combat. I find that flint to combat combo is so deadly, and that's how early game I was able to use it to survive and dominate Tilted and come out here with a 14 kill solo win. Now, when it comes to the flintlock, its other uses are to prevent fall damage. Right here, that's kind of not as useful because I'm using it with a glider redeploy. However, that can also have its own benefit, because the thing about using a flintlock, if you can save yourself from fall damage if you just shoot at the ground and sort of catch yourself like that, but it takes a 3-second reload. So if you shoot it at the enemy and you start flying across the map, you can't shoot at the ground to save yourself, right? So with the flintlock, what I definitely say about that is it's unique and it fits into certain specific scenarios, but don't be afraid to use it and don't draw away from it just because you think it's a hard to use weapon. It really is, and it really does come down to how accurate you can be with that one shot. But if you have something else you can rely on, it's not a big deal. Whether you miss or you hit that shot, you'll see me doing a multitude of different things with it in this gameplay. It still ends up working out. And the flintlock, by the way, crazy headshot multiplier, is great up close. You can hit people for like 180, some deadly stuff. Now, the TAC shotgun is probably your more in between. Like if you're in the same building as a person, TAC shotgun can be absolutely deadly, especially with the buff 2.25 on the headshot multiplier. The TAC is amazing, and early game, if I find like a blue TAC versus like a blue combat, I might take that blue TAC just because if we're at like tilted towers, more close range stuff. So the TAC is what I would, the most simple way to think about it is just like if the combat is a TAC for long range, the TAC is a TAC for short range. That's basically a simple oversimplification, but that's what the TAC is used for. The TAC is still absolutely deadly, but you won't see it as much in the mid to late game because you're in build fights, you aren't standing as close to people. But for that early game, the TAC can be absolutely deadly. And same with the drum shotgun, which with the TAC and with pretty much all of these shotguns, it's worth to aim for the head. The drum shotgun is unique because it only has a 1.25 times shotgun multiplier. So the unique thing about the drum shotgun is you do not really want to aim for the head with it. You basically just want to use this thing in tilted towers or mega mall, wherever you land. Pick this thing up and run at people and spam it. That is essentially what the drum shotgun is for. You know, a lot of with Fortnite is they're trying to make the meta, make it more even where everyone is sort of more closer to an average player. And with the drum shotgun, you won't see people using it late game really, or if you are using it late game, if you are using a TAC or a drum or a flintlock, you have to be really ballsy and get really close to the enemy to be able to make that work. But the thing with these drum shotguns is your damage is either 45, 48, or 50. You run in there and you just spam that thing, and you can do like a 200 DPS. So up, personal, and close, like in the range where you would be pickaxing someone, that's where the drum shotgun can excel and succeed. So if I find a drum or a TAC or a flintlock, I'm always grabbing those early game and using them, depending on the rarity, of course. Like if it's a gray drum, I'm not nearly as excited to grab that as a blue one. But when it comes down to it, each of these shotguns has a use, and knowing how to use each and every single one of them to your advantage is definitely the way to go. Now, flintlock is unique, but you need to understand its use and sort of know how to use that. The drum and the TAC, I really recommend, if you find these early game, get comfortable with them and understand, because if you just drop and you find a green drum shotgun, you don't know how to use it, you're kind of screwed. But if you do know how to use that, you can get up close, spray someone down, spam that trigger, pick up their weapon, and move on from that. Then when it comes down to the pump versus combat, for the majority of people, combat is the most safe overall way to go, but you can have some great games with the pump, and it's just a sort of different play style. Each of these weapons is a different play style and different combos you have to carry with them. The TAC can be carried by itself, same with the drum, because you can sort of let those spray, although you might run out of ammo. When you're running with sort of a pump or a combat, you're thinking more long range, secondary options, and taking it more towards the late game. So all of these shotguns do have a use. It's not to say that the drum is trash or the TAC is trash or this is good or this is bad. It's just you have to understand. Maybe if you love playing super aggressive where every kill is up close to the enemy, you're literally in the same 1-by-1 as them the whole game, the drum gun is for you. But for the majority of players in build battles, I've watched thousands, tens of thousands, however many build battles and fights in Fortnite. I've played this game a lot. Majority of the time, your best shotgun option is going to be one of those, like a gold combat, purple combat, something like that. Thanks for watching, though. Hopefully this video will help you guys to understand what to think about when using these, like a drum shotgun. You don't want to think about the headshots. When something with a combat or a pump, you want to be thinking about the headshot and what you're going to switch to right away, and that's so you can maximize the damage with shotguns. Thanks for watching, y'all. Drop a like, subscribe. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did make it to the end, comment down in the comment section down below. What is your personal favorite shotgun in this game? Let me know. And that's about it. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.